The 974th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 974 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Scott, one of our friends on Spotify, who says, "It's me, one of your 75, LOL." So people know 75 people, have, if you haven't heard, have us as our top podcast of 2025. Scott, he's one of the ones. So
Shout out,
thank you, Scott. Shout out to Scott for being a sicko. That voice you heard, Danny Gummervreeland. Me, I'm still the Dessert Warrior. Jeff Fox. I said yesterday, without even thinking, this is a big week for French MMA, and I wasn't even thinking that we're doing Aries FC today. So it definitely is a big week for regional MMA. And yet, as I was saying off air to Gumby, they're going head to head with PFL in France, which doesn't really seem like a good move. I know Lyon and Paris aren't really close, but you'd think it'd be smarter to do it on a Friday. But nonetheless, Aries is going on Saturday afternoon.
How do we watch Aries now? Do you know?
Oh, not you asking that too. That's a good question. They
used to be Fight Pass, right? But I don't think they're Fight Pass anymore.
Everything should just be on one place, right? Maybe I'm an old guy, but that would be good if everything was just.
You want a nice monopoly somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. Just like when everything used to just be on TV. How do you watch it? And on their website, the intern will look at it.
Okay. Let the intern get on that.
So you're taking another chance on Aries. Aries has been a tough.
Aries has been real bad for me. Yeah. Like it might be my worst promotion of the year. Maybe we'll do like a little award ceremony.
We should.
Worst regional promotion for Gumby, best regional promotion for Gumby. I think Fury, which we're going to tackle tomorrow, is probably in the contenders for best promotions for me. Fury. Yeah. Somehow I keep hitting underdogs on Fury, which maybe you need to tune in on Tuesday to check that out.
Yeah. So we're covering another regional event this week. You're getting 4 regional episodes this week. So you got 2 PFLs, now you got Aries FC 36. We're sticking around France for another episode. Let's dive into it after I remind you, time is running out on our merch sale. Says last week, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store is the place to go. Holiday is the checkout code, 25% off if you use that. You get lots of good SGPN merch, especially stuff for the MMA Gambling Podcast. So check it out, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, holiday at checkout. All right, thoughts on Aries FC 36, Gumby?
It's got like a couple of fun title fights at the top, which I kind of appreciate. And then a couple of dudes who we've heard of before on Aries. Right. I've tried to handicap once or twice and with varying levels of success. But, might as well give it another crack. I would say, look, I like Aries. Aries has put on fun fights. They've got a couple of fun contenders. I really like Josh O'Connell, but like they're fighting for an interim version of his belt on this card, which kind of sucks a little bit. And then like they seem to hype up like some of their guys and like set him up with like really easy fights or what they think are really easy fights. And then you're like, where does this send this person? Like, what does this do for them? And so like, I like Aries, but sometimes I just like scratch my head at their matchmaking. They're like the anti-Octagon. Octagon, anytime they like make a fight, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like that's perfect. I'm so glad those two guys are fighting. Whether it makes sense for the rankings or not, it's just like a fun ass fight. And then like with Aries, sometimes I'm like, who is this guy and why has he only fought once since 2017? Right. And now he's up against like one of the MMA factory guys. And so like, I like it. They usually put on some, the production quality is good. They usually put on some pretty good fights, but once in a while, there's just like a few fights where I'm like, what are we doing? And so, you
should hire Gumby. Hire Gumby as a matchmaker then, apparently, right?
I don't think I want that job. That sounds terrible. Every time I hear somebody who's like, oh, they're the matchmaker for this regional promotion, I'm like, do they sleep? Like a guy who I used to work with at one of the MMA websites I shall not name, he became the matchmaker for an organization in Pittsburgh and does like all of their and it sounds terrible. Like matchmaking like amateurs who like are making their first fight and are probably going to chicken out 9 times out of 10. Like, I don't want any part of it. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, exactly. This fight card is not terrible. Let's dive into it. Aries FC 36, Paris, France, Saturday, 1 p.m. start time. You can watch it, we assume, somewhere. Gumby says good production values. We just don't know where those production values are currently. So hopefully you can figure it out. Talk in the Discord, anyhow, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, or go and watch it. Adidas Arena in Paris, France. All right, we're kicking things off this episode with 139-pound fight. So basically a bantamweight fight, I guess, or a featherweight fight, I guess, is right in between. Georgi Angelov is one half of this fight. He's from Bulgaria. He is fighting someone from the Ivory Coast, which is not a place that we find a heck of a lot of fighters from, but Aries has found at least one. Youssouf Binate. Or Binate. Binate would be like an American way. Binate, we'll say. Binate, 5-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once, EOS rounds. All of those fights have been taking place under the Aries banner. Got submitted in his last bout. Youssouf at 145, 2 inches taller than Angelov. Angelov is the Superman. Not Superman, the Superman.
The Superman.
The Superman. 4-1, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once. He owes his rounds as well. This is his debut in Aries. TKO win in his last bout. 4 years younger than Binate.
I'm gonna go with Binate. My guess is like a mid 200s favorite. You know, Angelov is another one of those fighters who just kind of, I mean, look at his record, right? Like, what is he, 2-0 in the last 7 years or something like that?
Yeah.
He's got like this weird layoff, and then he came back, and you know, it looks a little bit better after that layoff. But like, what was he doing there? Where did he go? Did he retire? And then like suddenly Aries is into him, and there's going to be a guy we're going to talk about in the next fight the same way, which is sort of my beef with Aries at the very beginning. But you know, when you watch Angelov stylistically, he's a striker. And he stands like almost sideways to his opponent at all times. Like he's like getting ready to either spin or throw some like jumping push kicks or stuff, you know, maybe oblique kicks, things like that. But he stands like real sideways to his opponent, trying to step things up. And I think that is just an absolute nightmare to try to fight somebody like Youssouf Binate like that. Because Youssouf Binate has some of the most devastating leg kicks you will see on the regional scene. Like this guy, I mean, he's got leg kick TKOs on his record from how hard he kicks your legs. So when you're standing in that like kind of like sideways stance, like what are you going to do with that front leg when he goes to kick it? Turn your back to him? Like, because that's probably what you're going to have to do to get that leg out of the way a lot of times. And like, you know, there's only so many times you can turn your back to him like that and not get like cracked in the head with something like that. Binate, you know, very fun kickboxer, clearly Muay Thai kind of style. You know, he's got sort of some of that like front foot stomp once in a while, and like just against a guy who's going to stand like that and not threaten him with takedowns, like why would he not just spam leg kicks and just like rip this guy apart? My guess is that Angelov will barely be able to walk halfway through the first round. And then Binate can just like pick him apart with whatever else he wants. So give me Youssouf Binate here too, in probably what will be a pretty fun looking striking fight until like Angelov starts to feel it.
All right. Lock it in. We'll go to 205 next. Paulin Begai, excuse me, he is from France. Georgi Gritko, he is from Moldova. 3 5-minute rounds, 205. Gritko, 8-4, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. Short notice debut in Aries for this fight. He's won 2 of 3, 3 of 7. Submission loss in his last bout. Regional champ. He's fought at 170 and 185. 2012 pro MMA debut. Begai, Le Chat. We've talked about this before. We don't know what it means, right? Le Chat, SCHAAT.
The way you said it was so good.
Le Chat. 7-4-1 with 4 knockouts. He's been submitted once. We're a fun show. 2-2-1 over his last 5. He got a draw in his last bout. 4 years younger than Gritko. 7 inches of height, 7 inches of reach. So bigger and younger. Obviously, I'm going to pick him if I'm picking.
I'm not.
And short notice too.
I think this is like one of those like setup fights that I just mentioned for Angelov, but I'm so low on Begai that I'm gonna take the short notice guy anyway.
You don't like Le Chat?
I don't like. I'm not gonna say it just in case I butcher it. But Gritko. So I'll break down Gritko first too. He's terrible on the feet. He's not good at all. Swings, his chin's open, doesn't look like he's comfortable. But he's got. You know, he's been fighting for like he's another one who like had a weird layoff like Angelov. was gone for like 10 years. He's been a pro forever. And now he's come back and won like a couple in a row, or at least fought a couple of decent ones in a row. But he's got like big slams. Like he goes in and he gets the legs, and he like has good slams and great control on top. And like, go back and watch Begai's last fight. First of all, it was a draw against Diakate. And in that fight, like, they were supposed to rematch for the title on this card. And when Diakate fell off, they were like, well, we're not giving Begai a title fight against this guy. Like, they just like took the title off the line, which is sort of hilarious to me. Like, you were good enough to fight for the title as long as it's against this guy over here. And then when it wasn't against that guy, they're like, oh, fight this dude over here, and we'll let you know if you're still in the title picture. So for me, like, you know, already that's like a mind fuck. But like, on the other side of things, if you watch him fight Diakate, who is another tall, lanky kickboxer just like Begai, he takes him down a bunch of times. Begai gets taken down multiple times by a lanky kickboxer who I had never seen really seriously committed to the wrestling. So like, I already know Begai has this like giant weakness in wrestling where he gets taken down by strikers. And you're going to put him in there with like just like a bulldozer who all he knows how to do is shoot double legs that slam you into side control. Like, I'll take the guy who's going to slam you into side control, especially because he's probably going to come in here at like 4 bills or something like that, right? Like, he's going to come in as a massive underdog, short notice, hasn't fought a lot in the last 10 years, you know, fighting a French guy on French soil. Like, I'll just take Gritko to hit 2 or 3 takedowns and win the fight just based on that and cash it like 400. So, yeah, give me Georgi Gritko.
Okay. Take the big dog, but this may be one that makes people mad at you. We'll
I mean, they do. But hey, people got mad at me for Daniel Conrad this past week too, beating George Hardwick. And what did he do? He went in there and beat the heck out of him nonstop for 1 round and won with a flying armbar.
Yep. Flying armbar. Boom. All right. We're going to get you more winning plays after I tell you about one of our new sponsors, Kalshi. That's Kalshi. We've just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. So in all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets in sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, they have tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment. How they even have the weather you can make trades on. So Kalshi, you can trade anything. Check out everything there. Check out the wacky stuff. Check out the normal stuff. And new Kalshi customers can get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. So it's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. New customers get $20 when they use that promo code. And Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is your home for pick-em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your play. Gumby will give you a winner right here.
It's Monday, and
Monday.
Jeff's Phoenix Suns are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight.
Correct.
And of course, that means which one of the 3-point merchants do I want? I'm going to take Grayson Allen. Higher than 2.5 3-pointers. Fires off like 7 or 8, maybe 9 a game sometimes, as long as Dylan Brooks doesn't steal some of his attempts. I know you don't like either of them.
Nope.
Heck, take both of them higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. They're both going to fire off damn near close to 10 of them. And I'll take Grayson Allen to hit at least 3. So, yeah, Grayson Allen's higher than on his 3-pointers made.
All right, underdogs. I got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus fines only when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. Back to France. See if Gumby's got any more dogs lurking for us. We are going to 170 pounds next. Ramazan Mustafaev. He is from France. Emanuele Sabatino. He is from Italy. We'll tell you about him first. Clark Kent is the nickname. We just had the Superman. Now we have Clark Kent.
Love it.
6-2, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. He's never been finished any fight. 1 known Aries. He's won 3 of 4, including his last bout via submission. 2-1 in Cage Warriors before this. Used to fight at 155, an inch taller than Mustafaev. Mustafaev, 9-2, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. 2-1 in Aries. He's won 4 of 5 TKO win in his last bout. Used to fight at 155, 3 years younger than Sabatino.
So I'm going to say Mustafaev here in probably like negative 500. First of all, he's a Russian. He's coming from Aries, and we got Sabatino coming over from Cage Warriors, and maybe not even necessarily with the most sterling of Cage Warriors records either. So like, you know, you're going to see a massive favorite on a guy named Ramazan Mustafaev here. You know, for me, if it is 500, I still probably like Mustafaev. Like, I was like trying to think, like, is that too much? Because I really don't like Mustafaev on the feet. He can be really tentative and really cautious. And like once in a while, you see like he sees his opening and you like rips a kick and you're like, damn, that was good. Like, do more of that. And then he doesn't. And you're like, this is like not fun to watch or not good to watch. And you just like want a little bit more output. You're like, you're not even really in danger. Why are you not just like letting go? But he's like very cautious, overly safe on the feet. He's got like decent enough takedowns. I don't love his top control. Like, I've seen a couple of fights where he's gotten guys down repeatedly, but then they just like keep popping back up. But the problem for me in this one is that like Sabatino is just like, he's not good on the mat. Like he's really bad in terms of getting taken down. If you watch his loss in Cage Warriors, he's like, I think it was something like 12 and a half minutes of control time for his opponent. He just like, he won't get back up. And if he does, he's just like still, blanketed and he's going to go right back down afterwards. He also lost to, he's got a loss to Michelangelo Colangelo, if I'm not mistaken. Your boy, Michelangelo Colangelo. Yeah. So like, Mustafaev is just like a nightmare matchup for him because he's a guy who's not going to take any risk on the feet, not going to engage him in some kind of crazy firefight where Sabatino might be able to like make up some of that skills gap, and instead is just going to like wait for his moment to take him down. And as we've seen with Sabatino, like he doesn't deal well with that and he doesn't get back up. So give me Ramazan Mustafaev. My guess, like 500s or something like that.
All right. We've got title fights the rest of the way here. Co-main event is for the Aries Flyweight Championship. Uuganbayar, Batsukh, he is from Mongolia. Temerlan, Azizov, he is from France. We'll tell you about 5 minute rounds. We'll tell you about the challenger. Azizov, 4-0 with 2 submissions. 2-0 in Aries. Submission win in his last bout. He has fought at 135. 0-1 in pro kickboxing, 6 years younger than the champion. Batsukh, made in Mongolia, is the nickname. 5-0 with 3 knockouts. 3-0 in Aries and the current champ. He's won 3 straight via TKO. 3 inches taller than Azizov.
So this is an interesting one for me in terms of the odds because when I started breaking this one down, I sent a message to one of my guys who knows things about regional level odds, and I was like, Batsukh favorite in this one, right? He's the champ, undefeated, and all that kind of stuff. He's like, really, I think the challenger Azizov is probably going to come in favored. And that surprised me because Batsukh has looked nothing but good in all of his fights, and he's the champ. Like 9 times out of 10, that guy comes in as a favorite, and maybe it's the OV name that's got the other side coming in. So like, I'll say like maybe this comes in as a pick'em, and it would be a gift for me if it does because I really like Batsukh. I'm a big fan of what he's able to do because first of all on the feet, I think he's going to have a massive advantage here over Azizov. Azizov's touch slower. Definitely would much rather just get to the grappling game. You know why Azizov they might like Azizov too is he did beat Jawani Scott. That might be enough to like put it in his favor. Or at least he was a split against Jawani Scott, if I'm not mistaken. But like in that fight, like he was not as good as Jawani Scott on the feet. He just had to like spam 200 takedowns in order to make that fight close. And Batsukh is like really quick on the feet. He only throws in combinations. He mixes up those combinations so that they're not the same all the time. Like he lives behind the jab, but like, he digs to the body sometimes. He finishes it with a leg kick other times. Like there's lots of different ways he gets after it. And then like, obviously they both prefer to grapple, which is maybe why people like Azizov in this one. But like, in the past, when you have 2 guys who really love to grapple, sometimes that stalemates out and it winds up on the feet. If that's the case, Batsukh is a value up until the mid 100s, maybe into the 200s. If if this is going to mostly take place on the feet. In terms of the grappling, I actually kind of like Batsukh better too. If you look at Azizov, as I said, he took down Jawani Scott 200 times, but he had to take him down 200 times. You know what I mean? Like he had to, Jawani Scott keeps getting back up, and Jawani Scott's a tough out and a good opponent there, but like, he kept getting up, and then with Batsukh, the thing I like about him is he is just absolutely superlative in terms of the use of his legs. If you look at how he uses his legs in terms of both when it's on the ground and when he's trying to get you to the ground. So like in trips and it could be inside outside trips. Sometimes it could be like body locks and taking him over like a planted leg, and then like lacing the leg on the ground to keep you down. Like his ability to like use his like very dexterous legs to keep somebody on the ground, I think it probably gives Azizov some trouble, because Azizov is used to being the aggressor there and like used to like a more standard settling in the wrestling. So I think Batsukh using, it's almost like that. It's like a mix of freestyle and Greco. I think that could be trouble for Azizov. And even if it's not, like, I think it's enough to keep him on his feet where he can piece him up with the hands. So give me Batsukh. Hopefully we get a pretty nice price on him, being that plenty of people here are in on Temerlan Azizov.
73% are in on Azizov on Topology.
Really?
That's nice. Yeah.
Not that many on Azizov. And like, man, that Giovanni Scott fight too. I just pulled it up too, because after you said that, I almost didn't believe it. That Giovanni Scott fight is 3 years ago now, and he hasn't fought a lot recently. It's just like wild to me that a lot of people like that OV name that much.
Yeah. Hopefully that's all it is, right? All right. Before we get to the main event, Novig, N-O-V-I-G. We're brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices because they have reduced juice on bets. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm has crushed NFL this season, especially on props. They've been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. Plus, college basketball is up and running with 300 plus schools. Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night. It pairs nicely with the college experience shows with Mac, Colby, and Noah. Every game, you're prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays, this makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game. So that way you can focus on other sports. Gumby, I'll give you an elite prediction right now, I bet.
Sure. We talk Phoenix Suns versus Timberwolves. Sorry, my man. I'm going to take the Timberwolves laying the points. The Suns shoot a lot of 3-pointers, and the Timberwolves play defense and rebound. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Timberwolves here.
And Booker is injured as well. So there you go.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to help. You're going to see more 3-pointers from Grayson Allen, though.
There you go. Yeah, I heard that from someone. I use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, RITHMM, use promo code SGPN25. We're to our main event. It is for gold as well. The AFC Interim Featherweight Championship, because the current champ, who you're talking about off top, O'Connor, right? Kyle O'Connor?
Josh O'Connor, excuse
me, is injured.
He's injured. He was supposed to fight Jbalia too in this fight.
Right.
So it's already booked for this fight card. So Sabirov is a late replacement for Ghassen Jbalia.
Ghassen Jbalia, France. Abubakar Sabirov, he is from Germany. 5-minute rounds for the interim belt. Sabirov, no pain, no gain is the nickname. 7-3, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. Short notice debut in this fight. He's won 2 of 5, but he did win his last bout via TKO. Used to fight at 155, 2 inches taller than Jbalia. Jbalia 5-0, 1 knockout, 1 submission. 3-0 in Aries. Used to fight at 155.
Yeah, this has got to be Jbalia, like negative 1,000. You just said Sabirov is 2 out of his last. He's 2-3 in his last 5.
Yes,
and he's somehow like who they found to fight this guy on short notice for the title. And look, I don't know that Jbalia was going to beat Josh O'Connor, but it was a fun fight, because the thing about Jbalia that makes him so fun to watch is the dude never stops. He's got incredible pace on the feet. He's a little bit reckless in pretty much all regards of the fight. But like the thing I really like about him is that like he scrambles so well. Like I've seen people try to take him down, and sometimes he grabs the neck and tries to guillotine, but it's never just like trying to sink the guillotine in. It's trying to use it to sweep and to come out on top. And he just keeps moving. Like he never settles into a position. And similar on the feet, he's just like pushing all the time and trying to hurt you. And then with Sabirov, man, like his striking defense really makes me like ask questions sometimes, because he fought. Do you remember when we broke down Eduardo Kekshel for Octagon, and then he like really let us down by looking like absolute crap in Octagon? I went back and I watched Kekshel fight Sabirov. He knocks him out viciously, and I'm not sure Sabirov ever punched him. I'm not sure he ever found the range to land on Kekshel, and Kekshel knocks him out. And like even one of his more recent wins, Sabirov, he beat Gione Polakai, who is another octagon guy. He was losing that fight right up until he got the submission. So like Sabirov, even in his wins, has looked pretty darn bad. And in his losses, he has just looked like there are just so many question marks about like, what are you doing defensively? So like for me, with Jbalia being like a high pressure guy, a guy who's going to get in your face, a guy who's going to hurt you, a guy who's going to like make you work constantly, with a guy who's got questions about his defense, that's the last kind of guy he wants to face. So yeah, Jbalia here, but like probably negative 1,000.
All right. Jbalia is the play. Let's give you a recap. He's got Jbalia. He's got Batsukh. He has got Mustafaev. He has got Gritko. He has got Binate. Anyone with high upsides here? Anyone you could possibly see in the UFC?
I like Jbalia. Jbalia, and I said I like Batsukh there too. I think he's probably the best prospect on there, but it's kind of hard to like convince the UFC to go out of their way for like a 5-0 Mongolian flyweight fighting in France. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's just so many flyweights in LFA that they grab from Brazil, or, you know, Fury that they get from like the Texas, New Mexico range. And like, you know, there's just so many options there. You know, I don't know that necessarily that he's got like UFC potential just because he doesn't fit the bill of the guy the UFC goes out of their way for.
Okay. Aries, you're set.
Do you want to do our lightning round, or we go?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. we didn't do one for PFL. I forgot. Lightning round. Zap Ben Boom Pow. Gumby has more fights to choose from here.
Yeah, sure. So the first one I'm going to give you is Delphine Benoist, which I'm probably saying wrong because she's French, but she's 6-2, and she was really good in the amateur ranks before she turned pro. She fought in IMMAF. She wasn't quite as good as D'Souza, who we talked about 2 episodes ago, but she did have like really close fights with Giuliane Paeta and Bartoloso, who's now, if I'm not mistaken, the LFA champ at that weight class. So like she's fought really high level even before she turned pro, and now she's 6-2. I kind of like her. And then the other one I'm going to take is Alu Kamara, 2-0. Going to be fighting somebody who is from Aries already, which tends to make that person the favorite. He's kind of like the import to here, but like he's super athletic, really, really strong, and only 2-0. So like might be able to find some dog money on him. So that's Kamara and Benoist as the 2 lightning round plays.
All right, now you're set for Aries. We'll be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube, of course, MMA Gambling Podcast. Twitter, X, SGPN MMA. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. I'm also at my Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Play my free UFC Pick'em contest over there. Gumby's got Top Turtle MMA. It's a packed show this week, right?
Yeah, we got Jamie Lynn Horth talking about cross training up in Canada with lots of other famous Canadian MMA women. We got Stephen Asplin talking about getting to finally make his UFC debut. And then we got Morgan Charrier talking about coming to the UFC to fight at the Apex this weekend.
So check it out. Top Turtle, of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Remember, the checkout code at the store is holiday. All right, back tomorrow with more regional MMA. Be Jeff made in Canada. Fox, no pain, no gain. Vreeland. We'll talk to you tomorrow.